The Ritual is out in theaters, new exorcism horror film, not to be confused with a 2017 movie under the same title. This was directed by David Middell and stars Al Pacino and Dan Stevens. It is based on a true story of an exorcism of a woman named Mary Schmidt, which took place in 1928. And as the movie boasts, it is the most well-documented exorcism case in the history of America. So I was on the fence whether or not to see this film after the trailer, because I am always very reluctant when it comes to exorcism movies. I think they all have the same problem, which is that they all do exactly the same things that the original Exorcist has already done all the way back in 1973, but worse. So there's really no reason to see the vast majority of those movies. But on the other hand, this one had Pacino and Stevens in it, and I thought, what the hell, let's check it out. I regret that decision. The movie is exactly what I expected it to be, which is a generic, unadventurous, by-the-numbers version of an exorcism horror. There is absolutely nothing done in the film that wasn't already done 50 times over, and the things that are repeated are not even executed well at all. The movie feels like it's flirting with the idea of faith and crisis of faith, but never really commits to exploring that idea. It also seems to suggest something going on between Dan Stevens and the stupid sexy nun, which the camera focuses on remarkably much right from the beginning of the film. That goes nowhere either. And the exorcisms themselves are shot in a catastrophically bad way. Shaky camera, lots of cuts, lots of loud noise and people screaming, and you can't really follow what is going on the screen. And as a result, it isn't scary at all. Final point, and the only interesting takeaway from the film for me, is that it serves as a very interesting lesson on the subject of visual language in film. See, the conversation scenes in between all the exorcism action are shot with handheld cameras, with lots of zooming in and zooming out of people's faces. And after a minute of that, I was like, hang on, this is shot exactly like a mockumentary comedy show. I feel like I'm watching The Office, or in my case, What We Do in the Shadows. I started expecting Matt Berry to walk in and start saying ridiculous stuff any minute. Seriously, it's such a strong association that some of those scenes had me chuckling to myself, even though there was nothing funny going on. It was just the camera work, which, to me is such a fascinating observation, that this particular style of shooting has become so ubiquitous with that specific brand of comedy that you literally cannot use it for another genre anymore. And there we go, that's all I had to say about the movie. It's a bad film, no originality, no craft in the execution, boring and not scary. Stay away from this one.